creature of the night, the most pleasant of sight. Fellow, gaze into the darkness. I will be there representing blood's kiss. Creature of the night, don't mean to bring you fright. I'm a creature of the night, not the most pleasant of sight. If alone, gaze into the darkness, I will be there representing blood's kiss. Whoa. Hello, everybody, on another week of Creatures of the Night. I'm going to just look at a couple things here, make sure everyone can hear us okay. Checking the audio on your end.
I'm still on the 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay. I can also on mine. Let me just see here.
Sounds good on my end.
I'm going to just look at a couple things here. Oh, I sound a lot better with it over here. Everyone can hear us okay. Checking the audio on your end. Oh yeah, especially when I turn my head this way. That's good. Of course.
It still has a little bit of that echo, but not too bad.
Not terrible, yeah. So how's everyone doing? We have made it through another week, which, yay. I know that heat wave is still going on for some people. It's got a little bit better here, but still a little bit much. As obviously I'm not a creature of the outdoors in the summer months especially, but yeah, so we do.
No, but somehow they managed to find their way in here to us.
Huh, that's a nice segue. We'll get to that in a second here, yes. So, but yeah, we'll give it a second here for more to get the notification. I'll work on this little light. There we go. It's being a little nincompoop. Okay. There we go. I have to add some tape around that here. Gotta love the lighting effects they have on here, but this one area just caught my sleeve or my wrist from when I'm using the mouse, and so it sometimes will start to peel back the adhesive on it. It's like, no, you're not going anywhere.
It wants to.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, no, I guess we talked about that a little bit too, about unwanted guest finding its way into the mansion. So I saw it first, and those of you who know, especially in the Midwest or anywhere really in continental U.S. And other areas, there's these annoying assholes called wasps. We love our bees here, but wasps, no, they gotta go. And I'm usually in the springtime and staying on top of it about the outside nests and stuff throughout the summer months. Keep up with that. About every time I mow, for example, I'll do a walk around to make sure there's no new nests coming up, because it's easier to take care of them when they're in their infant stage, when there's just maybe one adult on it and that's it. I go out there Terminator mode. I've been known to walk around the yard with dual spray cans. I have done that. Oh, Rambo on their ass. What?
I don't have picture proof though.
Yeah. So, but anyway, one had found its way into the mansion, actually. It was on the side wall just over here. She didn't notice it. She wasn't in the exact room, per se. She was in a connected, adjoined room, so could have seen it. I mean, it's possible. Could have, but didn't. So I got down here to do a workout, and I looked up, and I'm like, that doesn't belong there. I studied it and I was like, it's a wasp. And it looked like a mud dabber, which is a little bit different from the paper wasp, but they still sting. And it didn't need to be in here. So I took the precautions and went ahead and got the foaming wasp spray. Now, that's one of my favorites, honestly, which I introduced her to firsthand to see how it showed her how it worked.
Because my happy ass went into the adjoining room again.
She was like, I'm not going to sit in here.
I don't feel like getting stung.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking with it. I'm good. Let me walk away.
So it was at kind of a, not the best spot on the wall, kind of upper towards the ceiling where the wall is and the ceiling meet. Anyway, so I was watching it. It wasn't really moving too fast. It was starting to inch its way closer over to one of the TVs that we have in the room here. And then on the other side of that is Lone Survivor, which is one of my African cichlid fish tanks. So I obviously wasn't going to let it get all the way over there. And if it was too far to the other direction, it would have been directly over the doorway. And then through that doorway on the other side is my African clawed frog tank. Several albino clawed frogs in there. So I'd be aware and alert of where the back mist or overspray, if I, where it would go. And normally don't like spraying these things inside, but it had to go. It was at a spot where I couldn't just, hit it with a fly swatter or hit it, with a shoe or anything like that. It was up high. So, and you remember, this old mansion has the abnormally high, giant ceilings. So it was a ways up there. So I ended up, of course, she moved out of the exact room, and then I grabbed the foaming wasp spray. So I got that, and I went ahead and sprayed it. It was a direct hit, very accurate. I have good marksmanship with my wasp sprays. And so I did that, and it entrapped it, which I like about the foaming spray because it will stick onto and prevent it from flying away. Where the normal, like, liquid wasp spray, sometimes you can catch the side of it or not get a direct hit. And even if you get a direct hit, sometimes the sons of bitches will just kind of fall down or kind of fly, and still fly. I think it was a hornet last year I think it was, or earlier this year, I can't remember. No, it was last year. Sprayed it, direct aim. Sprayed it again when it was on the concrete of the patio. And that son of a bitch, it, like, shook itself off a little bit, and it flew off. I'm like, what?
And that's been my experience, which is why I had to get out of the room.
So with the foaming wasp spray, it traps them so they cannot do that. So I just did a little bit, very little. Didn't go overboard. It was just one wasp anyway. So did that. We quickly moved to get sanitizing wipes and paper towels stuff. I got the broom because I was going to try to catch because the foam eventually it will start to give and it'll start to kind of seep down the wall, and I didn't want that. So I caught it with the broom, the foam that was kind of coming down, and then I went back for more after kind of wiping that off. Went back up there and then kind of wiped it, gracefully collecting the wasp that was now dead within that. Took it out. She kind of worked on the floor a little bit. I did more on the work. Anything that kind of a mist that went on the floor, wiped that off quick. Then I went threw the dead wasp away in paper towel, and then I went up there and with a Swiffer thing that she'd gotten recently, because my old Swiffer's busted, and kind of patted the wall, and then it would just air dry the rest of the chemical that was up there. So that was our wasp story.
Without the stool, I was too short to reach it, so I'm not allowed to go on stools just yet still.
Yeah.
So we had to leave that up to him.
So anyway, so I took care of that. That was nice. So yeah, exciting, fun times. Oh, and let me because I don't think I mentioned it on the headlines of the title of this. But yes, some of you who might have seen me post these, the pumpkin spice is starting to come out now. So these are rum chata, the pumpkin spice flavor. I saw them, a couple of them. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get them. So that is my drink choice, mixed in with a little cream soda right now. It's delicious. She's not a fan of that. So that's kind of where my basic white bitch comes into play more than hers.
That's where the basic white bitch in me does not exist. I am not a fan of pumpkin spice or anything of that sort.
Or anything nice. I thought you were gonna say. I was like,
Yes.
wow. So yeah, that was our thing here, and I see you in there, Kai 11. So Zach is in the chat, and the family's Blazing 105, passing North Tech. Well, of course it is. You went down in the worst of it right now, I think, and how you managed to stay there instead of just going to the thing you're going to and then getting the heck out of there. I don't know. More power to you.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was saying to him earlier, I'm like, the heat is too much down there, and we didn't even get close to those
Right.
temperatures.
And normally he does not do the heat. Zach just does not. He's more heat sensitive and sun sensitive than either of us. So.
And that's with me being pasty white bitch.
Mm-hmm. So, to me personally, the wrong time of the year to go down there. That's just my take. If I went to the south, I'd be like a snowbird. I'd probably make sure it's, in a fall or a winter month, maybe. Something like that. If I ever did. I know the event that you went to that took you that direction in the first place, you had no control over that. That's just kind of how the cookie crumbled with that. But just a horrible time of year to go down there. The wasps that wouldn't die. Oh, my bee attack was a year ago yesterday. Yep, I remember that. I think you talked about it on here at that time. But yeah, I remember that. So I did have what was the other thing mentioned in the thing? Oh, new reptile babies. We're gonna go over that real quick too. So, do you want to talk about yours? I talked her out of getting a bunny, by the way.
First, he started to talk me into getting a bunny, and then he decided to talk me out of getting a bunny, and so I ended up bringing home a albino leopard gecko, my first reptile baby. So she's not necessarily a baby; she's more of a juvenile. Might be an adult. I'm not quite sure, but it's been interesting. When we brought her home, we were trying to set up the enclosures because we got a couple other reptile babies as well. So I kind of had her chilling kind of on my shoulder and stuff. She kept getting in my hair and getting tangled in it. And I'm just sitting here kind of like going like this and pulling her out. I'm like, dude, you can't do that. I still have to come up with a name for her. But she's gorgeous. I have a couple pictures posted on both of our profiles because I'm pretty sure I posted some of the newer ones. I don't know. I'll have to check on that. But right now she's doing really good. She's a stubborn little shit.
Pretty much.
Doesn't want anything freeze dried. So the mealworm bag that I bought is going to go to the other reptiles that eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Because she likes live crickets. She didn't like the superworm. She didn't touch the superworm. But I watched her eat a cricket yesterday, and she tends to like those.
Yeah.
Although we bought 24 yesterday, I think there's only a couple left in the container we have for them.
Pretty much.
So
I think though it's ironic she's a picky eater though, just like somebody else we know.
Well, hey, that happened with both Lavinia and with the newest, cherry head.
I think Lavinia finally got over it though.
Yeah, Lavinia finally got over it, kind of like I have with a lot of things.
Well, there you go.
The new cherry head, I don't think has been as picky,
Mm-hmm.
which we're still working on name for that one as well.
Right. Yeah. So she has her first, so popped her cherry in that, has her first reptile baby then with that, and then getting that set up, and then I came home with, I was trying to get, because I did have 2 soft shell turtles at one time, and then one had passed away, so I got Jackson, who's been the lone survivor of the soft shell turtles hang. I was going to bring him home tank mate. Well, they were good at first for like the first half hour, and then suddenly Jackson then started, it was probably food driven, but started kind of looking like it was nipping at the other one. So
no, not
we took that baby, the new one, out and put it in its own tank right now, which is not what I ideally wanted to do, but I have another setup. That's the reason you have extra, as a reptile person especially, you have extra aquariums sitting around, extra heat lamps, filters, whatever, because you just never know when you run into a situation like this.
Yeah, I was playing babysitter and watching them because even though my foot is doing a hell of a lot better, and I'm not even using a leg brace anymore right now, it was still, there's not a whole lot I could do while he was getting everybody situated for their new enclosures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing that I was, because originally it was Jackson just kind of sniffing, wasn't really doing a whole lot, and then I saw him kind of nip, and I'm watching him, and then he kind of dragged the baby down, and I had to stick my hand in there. This is while my gecko was on my, like, halfway onto my back.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I had to get the baby out before Jackson could decide to make him a permanent meal.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, and Zach, that's because she has hers directly right by the wall, so it's more intense because of that. But notice how it's a narrow side of view. So I want mine to cover my whole background more so that's why. So it's a little bit lighter version, and she has a different bulb too than I do. Different.
Yeah,
thing.
mine's a little bit on the closer side because that was the only way to have it up there where it wasn't blinding me. So it's kind of set up on one of the pillar things that we normally get the remotes on.
Which I think that was the one she was going to take back because she wasn't happy with it. I don't think.
I'm still not happy with it, but right now I've had other priorities like stuff for my gecko that require my attention, and getting the stuff for the steampunk festival we have coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, Lupita. Yeah, you're down. So too bad Zach didn't pay you a visit on his way. Because he might be, I guess, I don't know how. I mean, Texas is kind of big, so I shouldn't assume, but. It's kind of in your neck of the woods. I mean, closer than being here.
Yeah.
So I got soft shell turtle. It's a baby cute thing. It's on its own enclosure right now. Happily eating like crazy. So I mean, seems healthy and good to go. I wouldn't mind still getting a UVB for it. That's a type of bulb for those who don't know. And then I have. Other thing that came home with us was a box turtle. So, because it was on discount because it had a little bit of cosmetic discoloring on its shell, but it's healthy otherwise. But it was such a drastic discount for something like that, which is funny. So, of course, we went that route. Because I was trying to get another Urasmastix lizard because the one had passed not that long ago. So I was trying to get Draco, another Firenado, so to speak, or another, lizard, but they didn't have those, so a box turtle had always been on my bucket list. Again, I mean, I've had one before, a baby Florida box turtle, but it was at the hatchling. It was very small, and I think it only lasted like about 2 months, and it passed. So it's so hard at that delicate age to raise them when they're that small. So this one is established, hence box turtles are normally... even adult reptiles in general, generally more because they're more established, and the more established and older they get, they're very hardy. But when they're that hatchling, under a year old age, that it's hit and miss sometimes. You could do everything right and still do something wrong. So.
And I may have encouraged a little on this and contributed partially to getting them so that he got hold of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she helped on that one.
We've had 5 new reptile babies since I've come into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've helped encourage all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been on the fence and he's like, I don't know about getting into something. Well, how about I help out a little?
Other than the soft shell turtle thing, all of them had enclosures or ready to set up homes already, which is nice. Like the box turtle ended up going into the old slot where the baby cherry heads used to be, but that was still there, still available. I didn't tear that apart yet and open it up to the redfoots, so it was an easy thing to set up.
But that being said, we also did get another enclosure to upgrade the pixie frogs to a bigger tank, and then their previous tank went to my gecko.
Yeah, we played the switcheroo swap.
Yeah, I helped pay for the bigger tank so so that I could have the smaller one for mine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to talk myself yesterday out of getting another leopard gecko that they had at Supply Plus. So that mine didn't need a tank mate right now.
One at a time, especially when you're just starting out.
Yes, and it's very much the whole nose are clean thing that he's got going on, where everybody has a mate for the most part, except for Maud, the new box turtle, and well, Jackson didn't, and then he did, and now he doesn't again. And then the air domestic that just recently lost theirs. So. Kind of on that same vibe on, I wanted to have a friend, because even when I've had dogs, they've all had a friend. So I had to talk myself out of it and remember that I'm just getting started. Let this one kind of get used to its new home and everything else, and then we'll see down the road about adding a secondary one.
Yeah.
The tank is big enough I can have 5 in there total.
Because we had once talked when we had a previous housemate living here, whose name we will not speak, when we had a bearded dragon come home with us for the other beardy, and they're male and female, and if they ever produced and laid eggs and we did raise them like that, then Emo Bro Zach might take a baby beardy under his wing and take care of it for himself. But I think that's a better decision when we know he's not traveling as much. So Zach, when you'd have to be home more if you did that, but I could see the day come where you have your own reptile baby yourself, Zach. So
Lupita, I don't have a wicked laugh.
Apparently you do. So
I'll work on something and I'll think about it. How about that? I make no promises.
Zach, you could, while you're in Oklahoma City, you could visit the first worst 1990s terror attack on U.S. soil, the Oklahoma Federal Building site.
Hey, no. I already
Don't vlog. Don't need to vlog it, because we don't need one more right now, because we're going to get bogged down. But just to go there to enjoy it yourself, if you wanted to see that. It's a sad sight, but it's a very important one to see, I think, so if you're in the neighborhood. I was there, I think, 1999 when I visited it, and that's where that paper clip that I have, that article in the dining room, came as a souvenir from there, and a lot of pictures that we took there too when I was just little. So.
Now, see, earlier today he was telling me about how he still wanted to be adventurous and still keep going to go to these different places and stuff, and I kind of had to remind him, don't forget that if you go on that path,
right,
then you're going to fall behind on what you're wanting to make, and then when you come home at the end of all this and not have as much as you were wanting, you're going to have to go out again sooner, especially if you're not wanting this, or wanting this to be your last big trip. So trying to get him back on that, keep that goal in mind kind of set.
So he says one time have a reptile baby. That's why I have Lego babies. I'm still in Adventure Time, Finn. Yeah. So, those were the main topics that I think I had down on here. The other thing, your zombie type thing. Okay, I'll let you talk about that.
Okay, so.
Hi, Kira.
Hey, Kira. One of the things that I've been trying to do, since I can't go back to Indiana right now to pick up my meds for my ADHD, is trying a supplement, vitamin supplement to help. And one of the ones that I've heard about is ginkgo biloba. And it's supposed to help with ADHD, it's supposed to help with brain functionality, it's actually supposed to help with, like, if you have headaches and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, cool, let me try this. What was it, last Saturday, Sunday? I think it was Sunday. I took it for the first time. And immediately he's asking me the entire day if I'm okay because I'm extra quiet. Well, it did help to calm my mind, and it helped where I wasn't having 50 million tracks go on in my head, but it also kind of made my mind go completely blank at times. Not the ditzy kind, just like when people tell you to clear your mind, and especially if you're trying to do grounding and stuff like that. It was like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't necessarily like, oh, it was more of a just peacefulness almost, but at the same time it kind of made me feel really off, like almost zombie-like. I wasn't myself. I wasn't the talkative, happy person that you guys all know and love. Zach definitely would have been creeped out around me with how quiet I was. And all week Eric's been asking if I'm okay because I've been quiet. Well, I also noticed that I was starting to get headaches. And they weren't really that bad at first, but the other day it just hit me really, really hard. It was like I couldn't function. I was down for the count, like laying on the couch, because the headache was just that searing in my head. So yesterday I decided I wouldn't take it anymore. When we went to the store, I ended up getting a different kind. It's not ginkgo biloba, it's mushroom-based something or other. I don't remember what the hell it's called. But it's helped in the sense where I still don't have the 15 million tracks. It's more like 3 or 4, which I can handle 3 or 4 different mindsets at a time versus the feeling like the conductors in my brain are all monkeys and that they're constantly crashing and nobody knows what's going on. So it's also helped where I'm not feeling like a zombie anymore. And even Eric's commented how I'm a lot more talkative and bubbly today than I have been all week. And I still had a little bit of a headache today. It wasn't nearly as bad as what I had, but it could still be the ginkgo biloba working its way out of my system because I'm not quite sure how long those last. It's kind of funny though that part of the reason I liked that one was because I've been prone to headaches in the past. So I thought, okay, if I'm taking this, maybe it will help keep those away. And instead, it was the opposite effect. It caused them. I don't know if they were cluster headaches or if it was, I think yesterday's was more of a migraine because I had that light sensitivity. But I'm just glad that it's done, it's over with, and I found something that so far has worked. Fingers crossed that it continues to, but still working on the trial run for this one because this shit's not cheap and it's $17 for the bottle, so
yeah,
we'll see.
But yeah, no, it was because she'd kind of sit there and just kind of, I mean, she's actually watching stuff, including the news with me, and actually just not like twiddling on her phone too much or whatever. And I was like, something's not right. This is weird. So, and she's relatively quiet, and normally she had some side banter or commentary or her mind in the gutter about something that I'm watching.
We're
And
giving him a hard time.
give me a hard time.
Just about anything he says.
Right. So, and for the last almost week, it was very different. So she stopped that yesterday, and now today I noticed that she seemed a little bit more herself then, because yeah, it kind of comes off like when somebody's just moping around depressed. That's kind of what that's what it reminded me of. So.
Which I mean, when I was taking my Adderall and stuff, I was not as all over the place. There's not as many squirrel moments. Same thing when I was on the Vyvanse, but the Vyvanse was a newer thing because I couldn't find my Adderall anywhere. Like no place had it. So he's ever really seen the non-medicated side of my ADHD. Hasn't really dealt a whole lot with the medicated side. Every once in a while you could tell the difference where I'm calmer than usual when we're on the trip to, say, town. But for the most part, it was still, I still had my little bit of commentary, I still sing along with songs and stuff.
Right.
But it wasn't just as much. But this just, I think most of the way we were going to town, I barely said anything. So it was definitely you could tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of scary.
Yeah. Kira, sorry you're having bad luck with your mic or phone in general. That sucks. So hopefully you get that fixed. or something new for it.
There's more stuff up from that missed.
Oh yeah, greetings to all creatures gathered here, hosts and audience. And feel free if you want to read some too. That's really good if you want to. It's funny, I don't see your reactions if you're typing into chat. And
I haven't because I was talking.
Oh, okay.
I can't multitask like that, otherwise whatever the hell I'm saying, I'll type.
Well, I thought you did earlier when Zach came in.
Yeah, I made sure to say hi to him then.
I don't think...
This was all while I was talking.
Well, I don't think at least on this. No, I don't see you. So it must not show your chat, which is interesting.
Mine was, the last thing I said was at the very top where I said, thank you to Zach for the purple background.
Mm-hmm. Nope, but that's okay. You can just say what you put, I guess, if you want, but... I'm loosely reading lips at this point, and happier, more energetic. Grounding has increased my energy like the winter time. Usually I'm dead all summer from the heat. Is her foot fully healed, Sasha?
For the most part, I mean, I can walk on it for the most part now without needing the knee brace to help keep my leg or my knee from popping out of place. So my knee doesn't hurt anymore. Like yesterday we went to Walmart and I actually walked around the entire store. And it didn't hurt when I woke up this morning, so that was fantastic. But for the most part, I'm trying to see how I can explain this. So where your foot is, like if this is your foot, the top part of my foot I have all the feeling for. The bottom part of my foot up until where my scar is, right below my toes, I can feel everything there, but where the top part of the toes are on the bottom, those two that almost were severed, I have no real feeling there. It's like when your arm or something's asleep and you can sit here and go like this, you can kind of feel it, but you can't feel it at the same time. That's how it feels on there. I have to still be careful not to put pressure on it because there's no muscle there, there's no nerves. So until that fully heals up, I've just got to be extra careful. I'm able to bend my toes more, not as much as I can with my other foot, obviously, but a lot more than I was able to. So it's kind of a waiting game. They said it could take anywhere from 6 months to a year for it to fully recover. But since I'm already healing up better than they were expecting, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I heal faster than what they're estimating. I've got the rest of this month until I'm supposed to be able to go back to work. Hopefully I get my car fixed by then and then be able to return to the world of the working people.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as I enjoy our lovely emo mansion, I'm ready to go back to work.
Yeah. So she still has the PTSD of the, like, any bump or whatever. She's still, like, watching her foot, which is probably, I mean, it's still a good thing, but you don't have the rods in there, so it's not as critical, I don't think.
Okay, so we caught another groundhog. Zach, I don't even think we told you this. We caught the 6th groundhog. So him and I went out on Wednesday night to go and really set out into the wild, and I was paying attention to my phone.
Nope, it's still going now. Should be back. Had a little
I had to refresh it on my end.
refresh just in case. Refresh the stream in case you guys don't see it. Yeah, they give you painkillers for it.
Painkillers for my foot? At the very beginning, they did. They only gave me like a couple days worth, and I opted to try not to take them. I chose more natural methods, but hopefully you guys are back up because everybody's saying stream died and glitched.
Well, they're late, so I don't know unless you want to ask them if, I mean, I could check on my end here just a second. Let me go to refresh.
Okay, let me. Natural methods? Okay.
Yeah, it's playing for me.
Okay. Yeah, it's back up for me, but I had to refresh it to get it to work. But yeah, they gave me some taking Tylenol, and taking ibuprofen, and taking my muscle relaxer, which I was prescribed way prior to this anyways, because I have slight insomnia. Back when I was in Indiana, I don't necessarily have that problem as much living here. But, so yeah, I didn't really take a whole lot pain med-wise. Up until recently, I was alternating. Actually, I was taking both Tylenol and ibuprofen at the same time, just to control the pain and the swelling. Excuse me. From my knee and my foot. But as of a couple days ago, the only time I've taken anything was Tylenol for my headaches. So no pain in my leg, no pain in my foot, no pain in my knee. Just a little bit in my back, but I think that has more to do with how I was sleeping versus anything from all this. So yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Yep, so let me read on there. Glad you're much improved, though. Hope you can work more in September, Sasha, as you hope.
Thank you.
Let's see. Brownsville is where Lupita is from, which I remember that. Elon has done quite a bit of damage to the Virgin Boca Chica ecosystem. He's having fun blasting off his rockets. Well, there's that. So, but yeah, so she's doing a lot better. She went into Walmart of all places and grabbed a cart this time, a normal person, upright walking person cart. First time, because she's been using the scooter since May, since this happened. And last night, witnessed, she walked through the store.
And the only reason I had any type of a limp was just because of the flat shoe thing that I still have to wear, because I'm afraid to try and stick my foot in a non-lacing tennis shoe that hasn't been broken. Because those are the only pair of shoes I have right now. Minus my heels and my boots that would put too much pressure on the front part for me to really wear just yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I'm glad you're okay. Yep. There was one thing for the steampunk thing coming up that she had got as part of her outfit. She got her corset for it, which she didn't bring down, I don't think, to show you guys.
No.
But that would be a wait and see
Yes.
for pictures kind of thing. But she had footwear that she was planning to have with it, and unfortunately, the way her foot is, even though it's healing, it's not to that point where she can do anything with a slant in it. So she's gonna have to get something else, I guess.
Yeah, my boots that I have that I was gonna wear with it have about an inch to an inch and a half heel. So it's gonna be too much for my foot right now. And even though that is still a couple weeks out, I'm not ready to risk it. So I'm probably gonna have to either get flat boots, or I do have a pair of knee-high boots that I have that only have about half an inch heel. I'm gonna have to test those, but I think even those are probably gonna be too much for right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So, all right. I guess anything else you have to throw towards the audience?
I don't think so.
Don't think so. Oh, Zach does say, have fun at Steampunk next year. I'll see that for sure. Well, hopefully you can. Hopefully you can. It's also in that time of the year where a lot of, at least up here in the Midwest, a lot of Ren fairs, Renaissance festivals, are going off as a kind of a late summer, early fall thing for our region, seems like. So, okay. Well, that was all that we had to discuss for this week. Hopefully everyone watching stays cool. I know this heat is crazy, and what happened in Maui, I think it was, in Hawaii recently. It just goes to show you, hell that is fire is definitely showing its face more and more. It seems like every aspect of it, from heat and drought to forest fires to it's just crazy. So I need to find out about Ren fairs in the Midwest. Yeah, you do, because it is a little bit different than those out east. Their timing and stuff. It seems like it's definitely a late August through October season. September being a big part of it for Ren fairs around the Midwest. So I know Des Moines has theirs in September, and it's a themed one. It's every weekend through the whole month is like a different theme each weekend kind of thing. So
this would be the first year I missed Rhapsody in Green.
Yeah.
It's our little fair that's in Elkhart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It hasn't been very impressive the last couple of years, but it was still fun to take the girls to.
Yeah. So, other than that, I'm going to attempt another mowing endeavor this weekend at some point. And clean. Hey, you be proud. She did get on the rider mower the last mowing time, so she can at least do that. It just might be a while longer before she ever feels comfortable pushing the thing, because it's not a mistake she would ever make again.
It's not a mistake I would ever make again, but it's also I will never fucking touch a push mower again. That is just, it's not gonna happen. I can sit there and watch him fuck with it when we did the 1 week anniversary of this thing fucking up my foot, but I will never, ever touch a push mower again.
I'm just keeping an open mind of the devil's advocate here, because people that have gone through tragedies, they first say that, especially when it's so fresh, and they change it all over again. Like,
exactly, this is for you. With a smile, but it's still for you.
Like I was gonna say, I do believe someday she will. Right now, she's saying she's not, and she probably won't right now. But I'm saying as time goes by, people that go through tragedies like this. Case in point, there was a brief time there after Angela committed suicide using a firearm. I didn't really want to touch a gun myself ever again, but I got over it finally. It's a time thing. It takes time, and anyone that goes through a trauma like that, you don't want to force it if it's ahead of their time. But they will work it out generally on their own with time. But my key point here is never say never.
I'm not saying I'm not capable of doing it. I'm fully capable of it. Like, if I had to absolutely, no ifs, ands, or buts, it was somebody's life at stake and I needed to do this mowing, yes, I could do it. But I'm choosing to never.
See, there you go. That's more logical. There you go. My key message here again, as a positive note, is never say never. Because how many miracles have you pulled out of your ass prior to the incident? So you should know this, of all people. Never say never. There's always something. What's the saying? That will there's a way kind of thing. There's some of that also. So that's a positive message to leave everybody on tonight. So anyway. Roswell aliens say hi. Well, hi, Roswell aliens. You see Jeff Goldblum down there? Tell him hello too. What?
It makes my foot hurt even thinking about using a damn lawnmower like that again. No joke.
Well, that's why I was saying when your back hurts or something else hurts, it takes it away from your foot, and that's a good thing. It just says something else has to hurt, I guess, to get your mind off your foot.
So maybe that's what's causing my headaches, and it wasn't the dingle biloba. It was just my head's turned to hurt.
I thought you were going to say the dingleberry. I was like, what? No, if you're having dingleberries, that's another pain in the ass. Oh, on that note. All right. So have a good week, everybody. We're going to sign off here because a part of me is also wanting to get the munchies. And
yeah, we got to get some good in our system so we can start our gaming.
Yeah, gaming night will be starting off here in a little bit. Yeah, Zach will have one more, of course, Creatures of the Night next week before the case that Paranormal Endeavors has. So Maybe I'll talk a little bit more. I can't talk much about it, but because it hasn't happened yet. But I'll talk maybe about our busy season and what that entails specifically, just in general, and a few things like that. But we can kind of talk a little bit more as we get closer to spook season. We can focus a little bit more on spook-themed things, personal experiences, past investigations, maybe show Paranormal Endeavors clips from previous cases. Who knows? But we could start kind of getting into that a little bit as we inch closer, since this was my sign, pumpkin spice out there, so it's a change of the season. Oop.
Good job.
So, Sasha, you have to watch out for eeky harvesters in the fall versus the spring lawnmowers. Yeah, the combines, you don't want, and we call them combines up here.
Zach, this one is a special for you.
Oh, Zach, I'm glad you're away, because you're definitely grounded.
Oh, yeah. I've got a list about this long for reasons that you're grounded for things.
Yeah.
When you get back. And no, I don't mean your grounding pad.
Yeah, not that, yeah. But in honesty here, too, for the vlogs for this channel on the Society of Alternative Dimwits, Sasha has stepped up to the plate to help with the reorganization and light editing of them, which helps me out a lot, because we're heading, like I was saying, into busy season for Paranormal Endeavors. We have a few things coming out that are new for Peculiar Encounters. Both these things are on the main channel. I don't have time to edit other people's vlogs right now.
Oh, you didn't like
So there will be some help that she's providing right now. So Zach, maybe you want to be unground yourself, because she's really being helpful right now with that aspect. And
Lupita likes to have us do a thing at the end. You can play the soundtrack preview thing.
oh, did she not see it?
I don't know, but it would be something for those who aren't on our Facebooks.
I thought she followed my music page. If you've heard this, Lupita, then
If you heard it, sorry, you're going to hear it again.
you're here. She's just proud of it because she had to help in it. So,
It's my creepy ass voice. My mic does sound very distant.
what?
I said my mic does sound pretty distant.
Well, because mine's close to. This is mic cupping. I mean, that's kind of what they call it, where you're talking how you're kind of supposed to use a mic, where you're really this close to it, and not all the way back here. So that's why my voice sounds a little bit better on this. Sasha's the best. I enjoy it whether or not I've heard it. Okay.
I try.
All right. Let's get this pulled here. You don't need to necessarily see it, but it's right here. You just need to hear it. Oops. Which I need to make it hearable because it's muted. There we go.
For the record, even you have an echo right now.
I know. There you go. So that's what that's about. So, yeah, the soundtrack for this is definitely a lot of creepiness with it. It's switching gears completely from my last body of works I did with the 17th anniversary concert, which that whole stream is archived and it's on the YouTube on my main channel, and it's also on that music page. I just shared. So she said, "Thanks, heart."
Always.
Yeah. So, alrighty, we're gonna sign off here. So everybody, peace, rock on, and until next week.